So it's heat wave time here in the UK, so t-shirts and flip-flops are taking the place of suits and bow ties. You may be pleased to know that, a little bit less formality. Let me ask you a question. Are you really a master hypnotherapist, a master NLP practitioner? Have you truly mastered this subject? I'm really following on from my previous video here on the Hypnosis Geek channel about hypnotherapists referring to themselves as being world-renowned. Over on my Facebook page, someone commented on that video that being called a master was just as bad. And I thought I'd record a video about that too. It's something I've written about before. You go on a 7-day course and become a practitioner. You then go on a 9-day course and you get a certificate that says you are a master, and you proudly share this with the world. And why not? You've got a certificate that says so. You've got 16 days of training and you've spent a lot of money. I'm guessing I could have titled this video, How to Ostracize Yourself from the Masses in the Hypnotherapy and NLP Field. I mean, I'm guessing loads of my videos potentially could be titled that, but I chose not to spoon feed you with that thought. I'm all frame what I have to say in those terms. So, heck, you subscribers, you regular viewers, you know the tone of this channel by now, right? So, a couple of years back, when the 2016 Rio Olympics were on, I tuned into everything. Just like I am watching as much World Cup action as is humanly possible right now. Yay, I love the Olympics, I love the Football World Cup. With the Olympics, these are people who have dedicated much of their lives to their sporting pursuits. They're the greatest in the world, the cream of the sporting world. Yet very, very few, if any, claim to have mastered their sport or even consider, professing to be a master of it. Even the most decorated Olympians tend to believe they have more to learn and improvements that they can make as they strive towards the ideal of mastering their sport. Much more of an ideal than a reality, I think. In a similar vein, have you watched the world-leading ballet dancers, showing similar gymnastic ability, yet having to dance with additional grace, with such attention to detail, The world-leading ballet dancers do not consider themselves masters necessarily. Can you imagine if a leading ballet dancer was to announce to the world, following 16 days of training, I am a master ballet dancer? Now, there are exceptions to most things. Chess and perhaps a couple of other sports do use the term for those who have reached the pinnacle of the field. Maybe they've played and beaten former masters, played at the highest level, studied with other masters and so on. But can we really compare the achievements of practitioners in our field to those few chess masters? What about world-leading physicists, Nobel Prize winners, even doctors who undergo many, many years of training, then practice under continued tutelage? They are monitored, then have years of professional practice. Are they then labeling themselves a master doctor? Nope. Nope, they aren't. Again, after 16 days of medical school, would he or she be able to pronounce themselves, as a master doctor? Well, perhaps if they attended one of those overseas unaffiliated online universities that also ordain you as a minister and can give you the prefix "which" to go with your doctor title. I have to excuse me, maybe it's the heat, I'm overflowing with facetiousness today. So I'll ease off for a moment, let's gather some perspective. I understand that people would like to be able to offer some credibility, some assurance to prospective clients. However, is it really ethical to say that you are a master of something after 16 days? Or, in many cases, a lot less training than 16 days. Is it really ethical to consider yourself a practitioner with just 7 days of training, for example? Or going and doing a 20 quid Udemy course, for goodness sake? What about professional practice, depth of experience of dealing with an array of clients and varying issues? What about having studied the depth and breadth of the field before being labelled a master? Most of those I encounter who title themselves master in these fields have little clinical experience and do not know much beyond perhaps the Ericksonian approach to hypnosis, and when I ask basic questions about opposing perspectives or alternate perspectives or about specific research or about clinical experience or clinical applications even, I'm often confronted with blank expressions leading to defiance and resistance. And you may well be listening to this now and feeling a little bit defiant and resistant. I can find no real way of ever really using the term master in this field. If we look at the literal definition of the term, it can be used to mean a number of things. Firstly, historically, the word has been used as a noun. A man who had people working for him, for example. Now, perhaps some hypnotherapists have servants, but that's unlikely to be as a result of their hypnotherapy skills. Though some of us may make cliched quips about using hypnosis for such. As a noun again, it could mean a person who has complete control of something. Again, we could offer up some cliched quips about being able to control others, but we can't use hypnosis to absolutely control others. The evidence would suggest as much. However, this use of the word usually refers to being a master of the situation or master of the house. I don't think that so many hypnotherapists claim to have that single role of master of the field of hypnotherapy. So I guess this is not really the way it's meant. It could mean someone in charge of a group or organization. But again, this limits it to a single person at a time. And though there are a number of hypnotherapy and NLP organizations, there are not enough to explain why we have so many master hypnotherapists and master NLP practitioners in this world, for example. I could understand the use of it in some ways, whereby a swami or a maharishi is referred to as a master in a guru type fashion. Again, no. Can there be so many masters in this context? There's a lot of master practitioners of varying kinds in the hypnotherapy NLP fields. So secondly, the term master could refer to a skilled practitioner of a particular art or activity, even if you were cited as being a virtuoso, a professional adept or a star, even a prodigy, all of which are synonyms of master. Can that be extended to being a master too? Now, let's skip past people who have a master's degree. They train and learn for much more than 16 days upon the foundation of other studies. And what's more, they do not refer to themselves as a master. Rather, they are beholden of a master's in ABC field of study. And let's also skip over the use of the word master for a boy who's yet to become a man and therefore not considered old enough to be titled Mr. Like my 6-year-old son, by the way, Master Eason. So we sometimes refer to a master copy as an original of something, a document from which copies can be made, usually of a very high quality. Again, though, this is usually a single version at the top and cannot really account for the volume of master practitioners. So this is not really the right interpretation of the term in our field. So that brings us to definitions of us having or showing very great levels of skill or proficiency, usually denoting a person skilled in a particular trade, able to teach others, or similarly to acquire complete knowledge or skill in a subject, a technique or an art. And I suspect most people would err on the side of this interpretation and explanation with regards to calling themselves a master practitioner in the NLP or hypnotherapy field. But does that number of days in class really entitle you to call yourself that? I guess it's open for further debate. Then I'll be able to offer up in a snappy video here today. During my own encounters with so many hypnotherapists or NLP master practitioners throughout the years, there are almighty gaps in people's knowledge, just as there are in my own, though often far greater gaps than my own. As the principal of a prominent hypnotherapy training college, I would say that, wouldn't I? But that does lead me to question if they can truly tell the public that they have mastered this subject, or give the impression they've mastered this field by calling themselves a master. Usually, there's far, far more to learn. usually there's far more room for improvement. You know, I myself have an NLP Master Practitioner certificate from the Society of NLP that I received over 20 years ago now. Upon reflection, you know, I would say that I was not equipped following that training to call myself a master. Now, that's not a slight upon the training itself. Usually a training is the start of the path, aiming towards mastery, which was definitely the case as far as I was concerned, or something closer to it. It's more a reflection upon the proliferation of people in these fields calling themselves masters of it, which I'm tending to dispute here. Now, you know, I know that you are proud of what you do. I know you're proud of your qualifications. I know you've invested lots of time, lots of money into them. But have you honestly and truly mastered the subject? You know I haven't, and I doubt I ever will master it in an exhaustive fashion, or in a way that I feel satisfactory to call myself a master of it. Some of us may master aspects of what we do, but that may need some qualification before making reference to ourselves using that title. You know, I strongly recommend you come and take a look at some of the advanced hypnotherapy trainings my college offers as a means of starting the journey and developing as a hypnotherapist, looking to master elements of this field. I've got nothing more to add or say to that, really, in which case I'll lighten it up. Because in my opinion, there is only one true master of anything in the world. And no, I'm not talking about Doctor Who's Nemesis. I'm talking about the Grandmaster. No, not the Grandmaster Wizard, head of the Masons, but the one and only Grandmaster Flash, often accompanied by the Furious Five, delivering the message. Go and watch it on YouTube because it will make you happy. Do subscribe to this channel, visit my college website, and remember, it's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under.